Hello, good evening, and welcome to tonight's edition of The Probe. Tonight, Ghana's democracy is under the microscope. In just 8 days, allegations of vote buying and vote selling across all the political, space in the country. In just 8 days, these allegations have engulfed two major political parties. The NPP and the NDC, raising troubling questions about the future of the country's electoral integrity. You'll recall that on January 31, 2026, the NPP held its presidential primaries with alleged widespread claims of vote selling and buying. Exactly 7 days later, on February 7, the ruling NDC also conducted parliamentary primaries in the Ayawaso East constituency, following the unfortunate passing of the former MP, Haruna Mohammed. Once again, the process was clouded by allegations of vote buying. The eventual winner and Ghana's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Baba Jamal, in an interview with journalists, appeared to justify those allegations of vote buying. Take a listen to him.
So if you give television sets to people, what is wrong with it when you gift things to people? Is this the first time I'm gifting things to people? Those of you who know me, know that every Christmas, every occasion, every instant, I have put down 2.5 million to give free loans to people. So if today you are giving, people are coming to vote and you are giving them something, it's not buying food. I speak. If you have listened to me, Kevlar, I say, look, if somebody gives you gifts, you can take it. But allowing that gift to influence your vote is what is wrong. It's not a gift. It's allowing that gift to influence your vote. Then it's wrong. By giving gifts, all this week, you think that you can bring people together and you won't give them water. It is not the item. It is the intention. Do you understand? And I don't think that I have gone around, I've spoken to them, I've met people. And that's why I'm still saying that I'm hope and trust that they will see reason with me and come along with me.
Excellency.
Well, that was Baba Jamal, the eventual winner of the Ayawaso East primaries for the NDC. But within hours, the NDC issued a statement condemning the alleged act and later constituted a 3-member committee to investigate and report by Tuesday, February 10. As if that was not enough, the presidency also issued a statement recalling Baba Jamal from his position as High Commissioner of the country over the allegations of vote buying. Well, the NDC majority caucus in Parliament is also mounting pressure on the party's functional executive to annul the Ayawaso East primaries. And also, Office of the Special Prosecutor, the OSP, has stepped in, announcing the commencement of investigation into the alleged vote buying involving both the NPP and the NDC in their respective primaries. But this first public response since the allegations surfaced, the parliamentary candidate-elect Baba Jamal has flatly rejected claims that he engaged in vote buying. He put that out in a statement, and then we'll put that statement on your screen shortly to really understand what he has been saying in that statement. And you have it on your screen. It reads, "My attention has been drawn to a communique signed by the spokesperson to the President and Minister for Government Communication recalling me as High Commissioner to Nigeria based on allegations of vote buying in the just ended parliamentary primaries in the Ayawaso East constituency." The statement referenced a similar statement issued by the General Secretary of our party, Fifi Fiavi-Kwete, condemning the allegations and calling for an investigation into it. I wish to state categorically that I, Baba Jamal Mohammed Ahmed, have not engaged in any vote buying or election malpractice, and I pledge to avail myself to assist the party in its investigation into the subject matter anytime. I want to use the opportunity to thank His Excellency the President for the honor done me and the opportunity to serve my country as High Commissioner to Nigeria. Finally, I sincerely thank the NDC in the Ayawaso East for the confidence reposed in me to lead them into the main by-election schedule for March 3, 2026. And this statement is supposed to be coming from Baba Jamal. So tonight we ask, should the NDC be commended for taking internal corrective steps, or is that not enough? What legal processes must be triggered to punish offenders of this vote buying regardless of party color? Is the OSP's intervention timely or long overdue? And ultimately, what does the trend of vote buying mean for quality of leadership, good governance, and democratic accountability in Ghana? Well, joining me tonight on Zoom for this critical conversation are the Deputy General Secretary of the ruling NDC, Mustapha Gbande. Also joining the conversation is Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP, Haruna Mohammed, and Chairperson of the African Union Advisory Board Against Corruption, Edem Kwame Senano. On the telephone line is the program's manager, security sector and local governance, and head of election security at Kodio, Paul Abrampa Mensam. This is The Probe, of course. This broadcast is live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV 125 on radio. You are listening to us on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, and more than 30 affiliate stations across the country. On social media platforms, we are Joy News. On TV and around the world, we are on myjoyonline.com. My name is Carlos Kaloni. We'll jump straight into the conversation after this short breather. Stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us here on The Probe and also listening to us live on Joy 99.7 FM. Well, let me go to Haruna Mohammed from the NPP side. Let me first of all pick your thoughts on what you make of what really transpired in the Ayawaso East primaries regarding the NDC yesterday. As the the opposition party, the NPP, what do you make of all that transpired in that primaries yesterday?
Carlos, I'm straining to hear. The sound here is not that encouraging.
Okay, well, I was asking what the NPP makes of the NDC's Ayawaso East primaries yesterday with regards to allegations of vote buying that actually characterized the process yesterday. As a party, the NPP, what do you make of those accusations and allegations?
I'll try as much as possible because the volume out here is very, very faint.
Well, I can hear you loud and clear, though.
We are talking about the actions of the NDC in the Ayawaso East parliamentary primaries that they had. Ghanaians saw that there was display of money, property. These are people who are in government, people who have had the opportunity to sit on government expenditure, people who had told us that they are going to have a lean government, and the lean government means that they are going to pay lesser, and they are paying quadruples of what Akufo-Addo was doing. Yesterday, we saw that a lot of items were being moved, a lot of videos were going. We saw 32 inches flat television set, motorbikes, 9,000 cumulative from the various candidates, as alleged in that particular elections. We also saw Buta. We saw 12 yards of piece of clothes, 4 bags of 25 kilos of rice, 4 jerrycans, gallons of oil, the big ones, 1 box of Maggi cube, Kosienu Moko.
Haruna, are you saying you saw all of these things? Because we have not seen these items you're mentioning.
Yes, a box of sanitary pads. And I guess maybe from the education ministry, the sanitary pads that they were to procure for the Ghanaian students, found itself to that particular place.
Haruna, I don't think you can make that blanket statement because we are even yet to ascertain whether these allegations and the items you are even mentioning are actually true. Because
the voters, the
NDC party says it's launching an investigation into the matter. But that's you mentioning Buta and all these items, I think we may have to wait. Basically, what we are discussing has to do with the video out there with regards to what the winner, Baba Jamal himself, said, that he put aside some money to be giving out and all that. And he does not think that amounts to vote buying. So I want to find out from you, from the NPP side, do you see this as vote buying from where you sit yourself?
You see, what the NDC did is populism. Just populism, nothing else. You see, if Baba Jamal is being alleged to have committed those particular actions, and he has won elections as the candidate, he was coming home anyway. He was already coming home. It is populism.
What is populism? Well, I don't get it.
Populism.
As in what? What did the NDC do?
Because the man had won the elections and already he was coming home. He wouldn't have been the ambassador or a high commissioner again. So sacking him or recalling him was unnecessary. It is populism. Again, it is a clear chance telling the people of Ghana that the presidency were not happy that Asedun Ketia person had won the elections. And all the machinery are against Baba Jamal. They don't just like the man. They hate him, including the parliament, the majority caucus. I don't know what he has done for him to be hated so much like that within the cycles of the NDC. But for this particular vote buying issue, this is just the beginning. The worst of it is coming because they will go into their internal contest and they will move into the presidential primaries. You will see what the NDC is going to do. All the resources that have been allocated to the prime ministries, all the big ministries, and the monies that the finance minister is not spending, all of them are finding their way into the hands of public officers. See what the money that was allocated to Peleskwachi and go and check the expenditure vis-a-vis their own priority areas. These people, by the time that they will get the second year, it will be worse off. You will wait and see what they are going to do. You
yourself just alluded to the fact that there was some sort of vote buying activity in the Ayawaso East, primaries. And what is wrong if the president takes the step immediately, almost immediately, to recall the High Commissioner? You think that was unnecessary?
It was populism because the president ought not, even the man himself would have still resigned. You get the point. The man has won. Nobody has won. He's the one that has won the elections. He cannot be parliamentary candidate at the same time being a high commissioner. So the man was going to already resign and come home. And the man is already on leave. He took leave to come, and upon him winning, he's going to resign. So the president to even recall him is populism. It's unnecessary.
And you said the majority caucus hate Baba Jamal so much. What is the basis for that statement?
Because all of them, a day before the election, went to the woman, the Hajia. All of them went and contributed money for her.
And you have fact to this? You have evidence to say that the MPs actually gave money to the Hajia?
They went there. They went there and contributed money for Hajia.
How much was contributed to Hajia?
I don't know, but they contributed money. They are not happy that Baba Jamal has won against their candidate. The presidency is not happy that Baba Jamal has won against their candidate. That is very unfortunate. And that is what is happening in the NDC today.
In your presidential primaries,
I don't know what he has done to these people, and everybody is against him. The man has won his elections. If you have something to do, you can go ahead and do that. And you see the special prosecutor, also issuing a statement, a populist statement. The man who has not been able to prosecute even a single case is there doing populist inferior tactics. They should stop it.
You mean the OSP?
That. Yes, the OSP.
Why do you call that a populist statement?
Too much.
In that statement, he said that he's investigating similar allegations with regards to the NPP. Your presidential primaries, there were some, vote buying allegations, and that the OSP is going to look into that also. And you call that, a populist approach. Why so?
That was a very weak letter, and he should have known that some of these things that he has carried into the letter will not even give the grounds on which he wants to investigate. Something happened in Ayawaso East. You want to investigate, then you go and rope in the MPP. That is unnecessary. I think that it has failed even from the beginning. The very foundation of the OSP's investigation has failed.
Are you saying the OSP should not investigate cases of or alleged vote buying, issues regarding the NPP and the NDC?
He should have issued the letter if he intended to investigate that of the NPP. He should have issued that letter on Saturday or even Monday. He should have issued the letter asking for investigation into that, or telling us that there has been a request before him for investigation because he has sinned. And again, Carlos, none of the MPP members who contested for that were holding any public office. He's not set up.
So they are free to engage in vote buying. Is that what you're suggesting?
I am telling you that the people that contested in the MPP are private citizens. They are not working in government institutions. So none of them is working for the state. None of them has a budget to be catered for. None of them. If you talk about the MPs, it's a common fund. That common fund resides solely in the hands of the government of the day. The OSP was not set up to go and investigate private citizens. It's a state-sponsored organization. And it is important for him to investigate what happens to the state. So that is why I'm saying that it's also a populist tactic.
So you mean the OSP cannot investigate, vote buying issues in the NPP just because the NPP is in opposition? Is that what you're saying?
Nobody bars him from doing investigation. But I'm telling you that he has failed from the beginning, because you've seen that the NDC have done their own, and you've seen that it is too much. And you have been forced to go and issue a statement and include the MPP. That tells you that it is weak. The man himself doesn't have a mind on his own. Other than that, he would have done so after Saturday, not to wait until something happens in Ayawaso East.
Okay, Haruna, hold it for me. Let me bring in Mustapha Gbande. Mustafa, you heard Haruna there clearly. I'll give you the opportunity to react to some of the things he's been saying. But as a party, some believe that you are being too hard on Baba Jamal, and you are not being sincere, because vote buying has been going on in the party for quite some time, but you just are targeting Baba Jamal to make him, look as though he's the only person involved in this matter. What is the party's position on such concerns?
Well, thank you very much, and good evening to our cherished listeners. I think that basically, as I have indicated yesterday, it is instructive to note that a party, as much as possible, would want to ensure that we keep a certain standard, a standard which engineers and deepens our democracy and also raises the bar of credibility and integrity as far as political practicing is concerned. Now, we do not want to dilute the conversation. As it stands, the party have picked up pieces of information. A committee have been set in accordance with law, and that committee is expected to investigate the matter, investigate the candidates, whose names were mentioned in this matter, interrogate further, and give its conclusive report to the party for us to get to an informed position. An informed position which will strongly align with our ideals and principles as far as the NDC is concerned. And also, within the context of our laws as a country. We know that as political parties, in a long time, we have been victims of all of these concerns, vote buying and all sort of things. But it is also time that we crack the whips to align and ensure that whatever we do within our political organizations align with the expectations of our citizens. For us in the NDC, this is also to ensure that it doesn't matter who is involved. If you are a member of our party, you must check your conduct, you must check your actions, and ensure that your actions does not undermine the collective resolve of the NDC as an institution. And also, we want to avail the party within the context of accountability and probity. That is what exactly we have done. We have also this afternoon, or subsequent upon the party's instruction, we've picked up the presidency's directive as far as one of the aspirants who was the only public official in the contest is concerned. We have also seen a statement from leadership of parliament to that effect. All of these concerns being raised could be analyzed and a conclusive, stand taken. We would not be prejudiced with the work of the committee. We don't want to get into the details, and we decline the invitation to join the wagon as far as political discussions on this matter is concerned. The public will judge for itself. The matters will speak for itself. For us in the NDC, we have demonstrated the capacity and the ability to whip our members into line. Okay. And we'll do so given any opportunity. Right. As for whatever my colleague is saying, we are not going to react to it. We are not going to be swayed into the commentaries. We want to focus, and it's instructive that we want to focus and handle this thing in a way that the country will judge for itself, not the MPP. Okay. We are you said one person has been picked up. Who is this person? I didn't say one person has been picked up. I said we've seen a letter. Only one individual who is a candidate in this election was a government officer. So we've seen the reaction from government side. We also seen a reaction from the majority caucus of parliament. All of these issues will be analyzed as one and to enable us take a conclusive stand on it. The investigation, who are those you are targeting? Is it Baba Jamal alone? We don't have any target. We have picked up reactions and concerns from the public. And I think a wide range of members of the NDC, through the assistance of social media, that was what prompted all of us to the effect of what was happening in that election. And so to be fair to people who have alleged and people who they have alleged to have perpetuated such activities, it was only fair that you get to hear and interrogate the issues further. So in the spirit of natural justice, a committee has been set. That committee is expected to submit a report to the Functional Executive Committee, headed by the General Secretary, by the close of day Tuesday. Based on that report, we will follow up with the recommendations and take further actions on it. So no one person is targeted and no one person is left out. All persons who have participated in that election is a subject of that investigation. Okay. When is the committee starting its work? The committee has already commenced earnestly doing their work, and they are supposed to submit their final report on Tuesday.
Well, bribery and vote buying is a criminal offense. Has the party formally reported this matter to the police?
Well, whether or not it's a criminal offense, we believe that there have been some allegations that borders on proprietary and impropriety of candidates who participated in our election. We believe that we want to get into the bottoms of those issues. When the report by the committee is available, I'm sure that it will guide the party as to what steps we have to take in order to ensure that both the rights of the individuals and the laws of our country is given fidelity to. It's not.
Yes, your members in Parliament, forgive me, but because of the time, your members in Parliament, they're asking the Functional Executive Committee to annul the election in Ayawaso East constituency. Are you going to consider it?
It is within their right to express their concerns as a body. Even before their petition to us, I've already referred the matter to a committee to investigate. Until that investigation is conclusive and a report submitted, we do not think that there is any further comment to make to that effect. We don't want to jump the gun. We want to ensure that what we have started is within the context of law. We are doing it properly. It is not a political decision. It's a matter that reforms and transforms our party to cure what will largely undermine the principles of our party. The NDC is a deeper and a bigger stakeholder as far as our democracy is concerned. And we will continue to demonstrate leadership when it comes to reshaping and strengthening institutions and the democracy of our country. That is what's important. The reset agenda is not limited to government. It's not limited to the citizens. It's also include the institution of political parties who champions government's business and government agenda as far as power struggle is concerned. So we cannot on one end be on a political platform chanting a reset when, of course, we don't have what it takes. We don't have the will. We don't have the capacity to crack the whips when activities and actions that will undermine those principles and policies are concerned. And so the reset agenda will cut across everybody, and that is exactly what we are doing.
Right. Hold it for me. Let me go to Edem Senanu. He is actually the chairperson for the African Union when it comes to, taking care of corruption on the continent. Grateful for your time here. First of all, give us your opinion on what you make of what really transpired in the Ayawaso East constituency yesterday, where allegations of vote buying were so rife, motorbikes, cars, and television, and all that. Where are we headed with regards to our elections in this country?
Clearly, we have thrown meritocracy and competency out of the window, and it's about who has the most money and cash to dole out, and that's extremely unsatisfactory. It definitely will not augur well for our nation and for those who occupy positions of trust if we keep voting people who is just simply about the money. That then ends up with elite capture. I mean, the rich take over the authority, the governance, and they only serve their own business interest and private interest. That definitely should not be the way we want to go. And I'm happy that people have taken note, and there's this call for let's rethink what is going on. I'm absolutely impressed by the NDC's posture. This is the kind of thing we want to see. The internal processes where the president has said, I'm calling this gentleman back. We have an internal committee established. I wish that the MPP would immediately also take those kinds of actions. I mean, these ethical things are what, for the large majority of Ghanaians, begin to show seriousness about leading this nation in the right direction. My only caution to the NDC would be that those internal investigations should not compromise in any way the criminal investigation of the OSP. So they need to liaise with the OSP. They need to make sure the actions they take don't turn eventually create a scenario where the OSP's work is undermined, and therefore whatever conclusive actions they need to take from the OSP's side cannot be executed. Yeah, those would be my initial comments.
All right. So first of all, what do you make of the swift nature with which the NDC dealt with this particular matter? I mean, the presidency has spoken, the party has spoken now, majority caucus in parliament is speaking. Is it a good sign, do you see sincerity in there?
Yeah, I do, and it's highly commendable. I mean, I've watched His Excellency the President stand by his commitment to good governance and anti-corruption over and over again. I mean, last year I was very concerned when Parliament suddenly said, scrap the office of the Special Prosecutor, get rid of his occupant. And I was like, what are these politicians up to? You know, I mean, in crafting Act 959, it was especially because of the political class who don't want to be accountable and who with impunity are leading us in directions that in spite of all the resources that we have as a nation, we are not seeing progress. So I was really disappointed in some of those commentaries. But the president stood firm and said, no, it's too early. Is this not the time to be talking about this? This is something we fought for. It was as if we had forgotten our own history. I've watched him, you know, from that point, and I think that the actions being taken today, the swift response, where it's not about what happened in a previous election or not. We find this to be wrong. We're going to investigate. We're going to take action. Those are the kind of things that we want to see in the good governance and anti-corruption space. So it's a very good sign for us, and I hope that they continue on that trajectory. It demonstrates ethical leadership, where you know what is right, you want to do what is right, and you influence everybody else to do what is right. And I find it highly commendable.
Those who have been, accused of being engaging in these vote buying and, vote selling in the Ayawaso East constituency, should they be behind bars now? Should the police pick these people up now, 24 clear hours, and they appear not to be in police custody? What do you make of that?
I have always said, let due process be followed when it comes to the rights of persons, because it is only the day when your rights are being stampeded and somebody has made a mistake on a paper or falsely accused you or not identified you, then you appreciate why process is so important. I don't think that the fact that it's 24 hours means they should be picked up. I think that the investigation should still be followed through. The evidence that is required to go to a court of competent jurisdiction, to get them arrested, to get them jailed, is fine. I think when I got in, I had somebody saying that the OSP doesn't have a right to investigate individuals and so on and so forth. That's not correct. The OSP law mandates them to investigate any actions, any persons, whether in government, whether the president, whether in private sector, whether the judiciary, wherever they are found. Once there are actions related to corruption or corruption-related activities, the OSP has the mandate to investigate. So let's not deceive ourselves or confuse our audience. And so they have the right to do that. But let's allow due process to be followed so that at the end of the day, whatever evidence is picked up, once it justifies certain actions under the law, those are followed through.
Okay. Hold it for us. Let me bring in Abraham Paul. He is with the CDD and also CODEO. I believe you followed the election in Ayawaso East yesterday. Your verdicts on what transpired yesterday?
Let me say a very good evening to my good friend, Dr. Nanu. Yes, I think the earlier speakers have all spoken, and the beauty of it is that irrespective of which party affiliation the speakers are, they have all condemned it, and that's what we expect as a country. What happened yesterday and what has been happening along our electoral processes is something that we condemned over the years. Remember Justice Crab, may his soul rest in peace, when he was chair of CODEO, held a whole press conference to announce the cost of politics report, the research that we conducted. And I was just reading the summary of the report. In 2012, the research data indicated that before a parliamentary candidate will sail through the primaries of his internal party to the national election to become elected as a parliamentarian in the constituency, the president might have spent around 128,000 Ghana cedis. That was in 2012. In 2016, the same research was repeated, and it has increased to 233,000 Ghana cedis. We repeated the same research in 2020, and it was 388,000 Ghana cedis. 2020 to 2024, we don't know how much they will spend now. So it tells you how much our people are spending, and then comes the question of how much they earn when they eventually become MPs, and where do they recoup the difference. So that's what we'll be discussing now. And in fact, for us at Codeo, we think it deserves a national conversation to see how we solve this. And the beauty of it is that in that research, we interviewed both sitting parliamentarians and those who have also gone to parliament before. And the concern was that all of them were concerned about the increasing cost of politics in the country. But they don't know how they on their own will stop it, but their opponents will not stop it. So it came at a point was raised of mutual suspicion as to who would take the lead. So I think, yes, it's a worrying trend that we need to find an antidote to, but how do we begin from? I think it deserves a national conversation, but some of these things that the party, the president, the leadership will condemn it at the beginning, that I think we should all adopt. But as Honorable Senator said, the internal investigation shouldn't compromise the criminal aspect of the whole thing. So we expect the two to go hand in hand and find an antidote to it. But before I end, there was OSP action against an election in, I think, Eastern region where a DCE was attacking the delegates to refund the money that he paid. So the OSP took that matter up. My brother, what was the end of that case?
Went to court, and eventually the judge threw it out.
There's one thing beginning a process, another thing letting the public know the end of the process. Some of these things can even serve as deterrent to the people who plan to do things in future. But when we start investigating, we don't hear anything about the investigation. The people may think it's normal. I was so aback yesterday when I listened to Honorable Baba Jamal, excuse me to mention his name because he was on tape, he was on video, everybody was listening to him, and the way he was trying to redefine the difference between corruption, bribery and corruption, and gift giving. And also some of the delegates who thought dashing television and other things were normal in the electoral process. That's the culture we are trying to cultivate in the electoral process. Now people think giving television to vote is nothing. It's part of the process. That's where we get into. So it's becoming so serious that I think we need to find a way to stop it now.
Right. So you have done a lot of research in this area. What could be driving the things we are seeing now? The television, the motorbikes, very soon, we don't know if it's going to be moving to vehicles and all that. What could be the driving factor in all of this increment we are seeing? Like in 2012, it's 128, and 2016 moved to 233,000 and all that. It keeps going up. What could be driving this?
The benefits in public offices. In fact, if you commission a research now to ask about 10 students as to what they would like to be in future, I think about 90% will say they would like to be politicians. People see the benefits of politics. People see people who have come to be DCEs, who have come to be MPs, and within no time, the mansions they are springing up, the cars they are driving, and everything. So I think the benefits of public offices is what is driving some of these things. The associated relationships that they establish for themselves. These are kind of things that's driving the whole thing.
Right.
Somebody becomes a teacher, for example. I'm not condemning teaching profession. For example, becomes a DCE, and I can't name people because it's a private conversation. I can't bring it public. A teacher you know in your district, in your town, around your community, becomes DCE within 2 years, 3 years. You see a life-changing personality that you've been with. So these are some of the things that you need to find out. That's why we have hammered on this, reviewing the law of asset declaration, we're reviewing the processes that it takes, reviewing the publicity of it. So there are a whole lot of things that I think that's why I said, for us at Cordio, for us at CDD Ghana, we think there should be a whole national conversation about these things. And when we start that conversation, it should have to bring on board every other thing that has to do with public office holding, so that we streamline things and we are able to ensure that you come to office with one car, you know your salary, you go out of the office based on what you have. So the full declaration of assets is one of the full things that we need to talk about. But I think, as I said, the public condemnation of the act itself is the beginning of the whole thing. Like, it shouldn't compromise the criminal aspect of the whole thing.
Okay. The majority in Parliament is calling for the annulment of that election. From where you sit, based on the data you received from the ground and saw yesterday, what will be your position on that call?
I think my good friend Senano has answered that. We should allow due process, but we can't pronounce guilt while the courts have not said so. If the investigation so shows that, in fact, there was exchange of money, these things have influence on the outcome, then the court will judge. But I don't support we taking decision before the court judgments come out. So that's why I said we need to allow the due process of law to take its course.
Okay.
And it becomes so far that the court says that, looking at what transpired, I think the influence of money was the impact on the outcome of the results, and therefore it should be annulled. Not only be annulled, let's go into the law. Bribery and corruption. I don't have my documents here. If we indulge in this act, what happens to the person? Is the person allowed to even contest an election? For how many years is he banned? All these things should be revisited for us to see what comes up. So if the due process is allowed to go on, then we invoke whatever laws associated in elections inducement.
Okay. Thank you so much, Paul. Let me bring in Mustapha Gbande, actually. Mr. Adam Senano is suggesting that this investigation that the NDC wants to carry out should be in sync with exactly what the OSP will be doing. Are you going to be working with the OSP on this one?
Well, the NDC is not an extension of the OSP's office. We are an entity endowed with our own principles. We have appreciation of standards, and we also believe that we have laws that governs our party. We have a code of conduct within which members are supposed to ensure that their activities fall within the scope. And so what is important is that we have demonstrated will. We have demonstrated a strong condemnation in support of the reaction of the people of Ghana as this matter is concerned. And that whatever we are doing is within the preserve of our party, is within the legal processes of our party, and whosoever believes that he or she has something to do with the matter can proceed. We are not, what is happening at Yoko or ASP is not with recourse to the party. And that whatever is happening within the party is not with recourse to whatever will be happening in a state agency. What is important is that we would wait for the committee to finish its job. We certainly will look at the issues meritoriously, considering the rights of all parties affected, considering the laws and the evidences that are available that the committee will make use of. And whosoever is found to have acted in a way that undermines the principle of the party, undermines the collective will of the party, and the democracy of this country, that person will be punished. At the end of the day, it's about will of the party. It's about the authority and ability of the party to take decisions that can be termed as cracking the whips on its own members. And so we will situate our actions within that context and patiently wait for the committee to finish its work. I also appreciate their concerns in terms of CDD and what they have said, and my brother Senanu and all, etc. Let me tell you that this action is not one backed by political populism or our everyday commentaries. This is serious business. There's a new NDC, an NDC whose actions will conform with the expectations of the people of Ghana. an NDC that will complement the efforts of governance to run the governance machinery with discipline and order. That is what exactly we are doing.
Okay. And you don't think that working together with the OSP will be a way of actually, getting the Ghanaian to appreciate what you have started? You want to work in solo. You're not going to be sharing any information with the OSP at all.
So you would want to avert yourself to at what level are the issues ethical in nature? At what level they become criminal in nature? And who has the right and power to begin a criminal investigation or a process? For us, we want to establish that, number one, a member of our party was cleared, having applied to contest, was allowed actually to participate in election. It has been alleged that that person's or persons' conduct has a breach with our regulations in terms of the party. When we get to that breach, where we are properly informed, considering all the surrounding circumstances, so the evidences, the allegations, and the individuals involved, we will take an informed position. When we take that informed position, then we can move a step further from that angle. We don't want to be seen giving a dog a bad name and hanging it.
But do you welcome the OSP's investigation, though? You welcome it, both the NPP and NDC, like the statement they put out. Do you welcome it?
Well, at this point, I have no instruction to want to comment on whether or not the OSP's action is something that is welcome or not. The OSP's work has nothing to do with the NDC, and our work does not take recourse from the OSP. As far as the OSP's also work, have no recourse to us. So we don't really mind what the OSP is doing. The most important thing is that we have an objective. That objective will be followed to its finality, and that the party will take a very strong position to align our party with the principles of probity and accountability.
All right. Thank you so much. Haruna, let me come to you. You should be applauding the NDC for actually, showing the way. I mean, the swiftness with which they are dealing with this issue. Adam Senanu believes this is, good for political accountability. You agree?
No, this is hypocrisy. The NDC, far back in Ablekumanov, the lady, their candidate in that particular election, was justifying vote buying.
Which lady?
The lady who was the candidate for the NDC was justifying vote buying in that particular
why are you allowing him to make some of these?
But let him land, because I want to understand the matter he's raising, then we can delve into it.
We should please ask him to give you. You cannot be mentioning the name of a candidate who is not part of this conversation.
Mustapha, respectfully, let's give him the benefit of the doubt to make his point, then we can interrogate it. All right, so Haruna.
I repeat, their candidate in Ablekumanov constituency was justifying vote buying.
When?
Have the video. And if you will recollect and let your producers, they can play it. They were justifying vote buying, and that they should also go and buy. In Akwetia, they, the NDC themselves, they were buying votes. I was there. Joy interviewed me, the Ashanti regional chairman of the NDC, and the Kumasi mayor were all at one place at Junase. They were buying votes. Why would the NDC choose and pick just because they hate Baba Jamal? Look, I want to repeat. The action of the NDC, it has one objective to cure. That objective is to play on the keyboard of the emotions of the people of Ghana, to pretend that they want to fight that matter. No, they are fighting an individual. It is not about fighting vote buying. All of us frown on vote buying, but the action of the NDC is not genuine, because if it was genuine enough for vote buying, they themselves as a party wouldn't have participated in it. Even my colleague I didn't go for elections. He went for elections. He bought votes.
These are wild allegations that Joy News we cannot substantiate. And I don't know if yourself you can sustain, because you said you saw them engage in vote buying. As a politician, you know the law. Did you report them?
What they are saying is allegations. They are all allegations, and that is why it needs to be investigated. These are criminal matters. You set up some 3-member people to go and do investigations, and you say that it has nothing to do with OSP, and these are criminal matters.
Okay, Haruna, let me bring in Mustapha Gbande. I have just some few minutes to go. Mustapha, you have an intervention to make.
You spend a lot of time, and you are allowing him to. So then it means that he will not be also be able to talk.
No, Mustapha, please respond now to what he's saying.
He had his time. Why is he so impatient? He was talking, I was quiet.
Haruna, please. I've given you enough time to make your point. Let's give Mustapha Gbande to react. Mustapha, please.
I want to say with uncertain terms that I condemn that when we have the opportunity to undertake intellectual discourse, whatever we say in the list should be backed by some evidence and substance. And that all the things he has said are without any evidence. He has not referred all of us to anything. 2, and that I want to plead with him. These are matters that borders on public interest. They are no matters that we need to comment politically as usual as we do. That is why the NDC, I have granted an interview this night without getting into the narrative and drawing examples and all of that. We have a path that we are charting. When we finish, Ghanaians will judge the issues for themselves. Ghanaians would have the opportunity to compare, to contrast between the NDC and the MPP.
Okay.
Which of us have the moral high ground?
Better than you.
All right.
Which of us would have the moral high ground?
Thank you so much, gentlemen. We appreciate your time here on The Probe. Unfortunately, this all time will allow us here on The Probe tonight. You've been watching us on Joy News, as well as listening to us on Joy 99.7 FM. This has been The Probe. You can log on to myjoyonline.com for more political stories. My name is Carlos Caloni. Have a good night.